Hi 3JS, it's Miss Solomon, and I'm back to you with the Tale of Despereaux, chapter 28, To the Castle. Years passed. Mig spent them scrubbing the kettle and tending the sheep and cleaning the hut and collecting innumerable, uncountable, extremely painful clouts to the ear. And I believe a clout is like a whack to her ear. In the evening, spring or winter, summer or fall, Mig stood in the field as the sun set, hoping that the royal family would pass before her once again. Gore, I would like to see the little princess another time, wouldn't I? And her little pony too, with his tippy-toed feet. This hope, this wish, that she would see the princess again, was lodged deep in Mig's heart. Lodged firmly right next to it was the hope that she, Miggery So, could someday become a princess herself. The first of Mig's wishes was granted. In a roundabout way, when King Philip outlawed soup, the king's men were sent out to deliver the grim news and to collect from the people of the kingdom of Dor their kettles, their spoons, and their bowls. Reader, you know exactly how and why this law came to pass. You remember 3JS? So you would not be surprised, as Uncle was, when one Sunday a soldier of the king knocked on the door of the hut that Mig and Uncle and the sheep shared and announced that soup was against the law. How's that? Said Uncle. The royal order of King Philip, repeated the soldier. I am sent here to tell you that soup has been outlawed in the kingdom of Dor. You will, by order of the king, never again consume soup. Nor will you think of it or talk about it. And I, as one of the king's loyal servants, am here to take your spoons, your bowls, and your kettle. But that can't be, said Uncle. Nevertheless, it is. What will we eat, and what will we eat it with? Cake, suggested the soldier, with a fork. And wouldn't that be lovely, said Uncle, if we could afford to have cake? The soldier shrugged. I am only doing my duty. Please, hand over your spoons, your bowls, and your kettle. Uncle grabbed hold of his beard. He let go of his beard and grabbed the hair on his head. Unbelievable, he shouted. I suppose next the king will be wanting my sheep and my girl, seeing as those are the only possessions I have left. Do you own a girl? Said the soldier. I do, said the uncle. A worthless one, but still she is mine. Ah, said the soldier, that I am afraid is against the law. Too, no human may own another in the kingdom of Dor. Well, that's a good law, right? But I paid for her fair and square with a good laying hen and a handful of cigarettes and a blood-red tablecloth. No matter, said the soldier. It is against the law to own another. Now you will hand her over to me. If you please, your spoons, your bowl, your kettle, and your girl. Or if you choose not to hand over those things, then you will come with me to be imprisoned in the castle dungeon. Which will it be? And that is how Migriso came to be sitting in a wagon full of soup-related items next to a soldier of the king. Do you have parents? The soldier said. I will return you to them. Eh? A ma? Shouted the soldier. Dead, said Mig. Your pa? Shouted the soldier. I ain't seen him since he sold me. Right. I'll take you to the castle then. Gore, said Mig, looking around the wagon in confusion. You want me to paddle? To the castle, shouted the soldier. I'll take you to the castle. The castle where the itty-bitty princess lives? That's right. Gore, said Mig, I aim to be a princess too someday. That's a fine dream, said the soldier. He clucked to the horse and tapped the reins, and they took off. I'm happy to be going, said Mig, putting a hand up and gently touching one of her cauliflower ears. Might just as well be happy, seeing as it doesn't make a difference to anyone but you if you are or you're not, said the soldier. We will take you to the castle, and they will set you up fine. You no longer need to be a slave. You will be a paid servant. Eh, said Mig. You will be a servant, shouted the soldier, not a slave. Gore, said Mig, satisfied. A servant I will be, not a slave. She was 12 years old. Oh my goodness. Her mother was dead. Her father had sold her. Her uncle, who wasn't her uncle at all, had clouded her until she was almost deaf. And she wanted, more than anything in the world, to be a little princess wearing a golden crown and riding a high-stepping white horse. Reader, do you think that is a terrible thing to hope when there is really no reason to hope at all? Or is it, as the soldier said about the happiness, something that you might as well just do, since in the end it really makes no difference to anyone but you? And then we have chapter 29. Start with the kersey and finish with the thread. Miggery-So's luck continued. On her first day in the job at the castle, she was sent to deliver a spool of red thread to the princess. Mind, said the head of the serving staff, a dour woman named Louise. She is royalty, so you must make sure you curtsy. How's that? Shouted Mig. You must curtsy, shouted Louise. Gore, said Mig. Yes'm. She took the spool of thread from Louise and made her way up the golden stairs to the princess's room, talking to herself as she went. Here I am, off to see the princess. Me, Miggery-So, seeing the princess up close and personal like. And first off, I must curtsy because she is royalty. At the door out to the princess's room, Mig had a sudden crisis of confidence. She stood a moment, clutching the spool of thread and muttering to herself. Now, how did that go? She said, give the princess the thread and then give her a curtsy? No. First the curtsy and then the thread. That's it. Gore, that's it. That's the order. Start with the curtsy and finish with the thread. She knocked at the princess's door. Enter, said the pea. Mig, hearing nothing, knocked again. Enter, said the pea. And Mig, still hearing nothing, knocked yet again. Maybe, she said to herself, the princess ain't no home. But then the door was flung wide, and there was the princess herself, staring right at Miggery-So. Gore, said Mig, her mouth hanging open. Hello, said P. Are you the new serving maid? Have you brought me my thread? Curtsy I must, shouted Mig. She gathered her skirts, dropped the spool of thread, stuck a foot out and stepped on the spool, rocked back and forth for what seemed like quite a long while, both to the watching princess and the rocking Mig, and finally fell to the floor with a Miggish thud. Whoopsie, said Miggery-So. The pea could not help it, but she laughed. That's all right, she said, Mig, shaking her head. It's the spirit of the thing that counts. How's that? Shouted Mig. It's the spirit of the thing that counts, shouted P. Thank you, miss, said Mig. She got slowly to her feet. She looked at the princess. She looked down at the floor. First the curtsy and then the thread, Mig muttered. Pardon, said the pea. Gore, said Mig. The thread. She dropped to her hands and knees to locate the spool of thread. When she found it, she stood back up and offered it to the pea. I brought you your thread, didn't I? This is the picture of Mig falling and saying, whoopsie. Lovely, said the princess as she took the thread from Mig. Thank you so much. I can't even seem to hold on to a spool of red thread. Every one I have disappears somehow. Are you making a thing? Asked Mig, squinting at the cloth in the pea's hand. I am making a history of the world, my world, said the pea, in tapestry. See, here is my father, the king, and he is playing the guitar because that is something he loves to do and does quite well. And here is my mother, the queen, and she's eating soup because she loves soup. Soup, Gore, that's against the law. Yes, said the princess, my father outlawed it because my mother died while she was eating it. Your ma's dead? Yes, said the pea. She died just last month. She bit her bottom lip to stop it from trembling. Ain't that the thing, said Mig. My ma is dead too. How old were you when she died? But I was... Bold was I, said Mig, taking a step back away from the princess. I'm sorry then. No, how old were you? Shouted the pea. Not but 6, said Mig. I'm sorry, said the princess. She gave Mig a quick, deep look of sympathy. How old are you now? 12 years. So am I, said the princess. We're the same age. What is your name? She shouted. Miggery. Miggery-So. but most just call me Mig, and I saw you once before, Princess. You passed me by in a little white horse. On my birthday it was, and I was in the field with Uncle Sheep, and it was sunset time. Did I wave to you? Asked the princess. Eh? Did I wave? Shouted the pea. Yes, nodded Mig. But you didn't wave back, said the princess. I did, said Mig, only you didn't see. Someday I will sit on a little white horse and wear a crown and wave. Someday, said Mig, and she put up a hand to touch her left ear. I will be princess. Really, said the pea, and she gave Mig another quick, deep look, but said nothing else. When Mig finally made her way back down the golden stairs, Louise was waiting for her. How long, she roared, did it take you to deliver a spool of thread to the princess? Too long, guessed Mig. That's right, said Louise, and she gave Mig a good clout to the ear. You are not destined to be one of our star servants. That is already abundantly clear. You, a princess, don't make me laugh. Oh, I'm sorry, Mig said. No, man, said Mig. That's all right, though, because I aim to be a princess. You, a princess, don't make me laugh. This, reader, was a little joke on Louise's part, as she was not a person who laughed. Ever. Not even as a notion as ridiculous as Miggery, so becoming a princess. And that is the end of chapter 29, and tomorrow I will read chapter 30, To the Dungeon. Oh, I hope they don't send Mig to the dungeon. Let's find out tomorrow. Bye, my friends.